Woodward!
We are back with the Woodward Heavyweights. No spend your easy today. They will be back Wednesday. They took a little vacay. Until then, go with myself, Lucas Klotz, and Detroit Kool-Aid.
What up, though?
Chris in the booth.
Yes,
Nick
sir.
on the ones and twos. But I have a story. Happened today. So earlier, we're going to talk about it right now too, but earlier on the morning show, we're on the TD on, we talked about the subject of should Chase Claypool come to the Detroit Lions? And myself, I said, fuck no. I said, fuck no. FCC. Fuck Chase Claypool. That is what I said. Got clipped up. And then Jordan Lewis, the cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys, quote tweeted it and said, I hope y'all bank on never seeing these guys in the streets. And to me, and then after I said the FCC thing, I pulled up that picture of Chase Claypool when he was wearing that. It was like it looked like a net, that goofy picture that he posted a couple months
thick
ago.
Fish net.
Yeah, and then my Twitter absolutely blew up with I was called homophobic. Don't know where that came from.
What?
A bunch of Cowboys fans went wild. And it was because I passed it, and I stand by what I said. I'm doubling down. I don't have to do the whole rant, because if you want to go watch it, it's on our socials. But absolutely not. I don't care if Chase Claypool is released, let alone traded. I don't want him on the Lions. The man has not done anything on the field in 2 seasons, and he has quit on both of his teams that he's been on. He looked great as a rookie with Big Ben when he had to just force feed him because he had nothing to do but just throw the ball because he was immobile in the pocket. And Chase made plays on that. Like, he's a very talented player, but he doesn't do it consistently. And in the locker room, he's a cancer. Did you see what his recent, I believe it was on Friday, they were like, do you think Matt Eberflus is using you to your full ability? And he kind of just looked around, laughed, and said no. Yeah. And so it's just like, well, that's one of those things. And then he left the facility because he was a healthy scratch. He didn't show up to the game. But a healthy scratch, you usually wear like the joggers, whatever. You're part of the team, though. Like Braylon kind of talked about earlier on E&E.
Yep.
So he didn't show up as an option. Like, he was supposed to be the healthy scratch, suited up. The Bears were at home. And now the Bears now say, you know what, just stay over there. We don't want you. So now they're game planning for the Commanders Thursday night without him. So I don't see the upside with him. I get it's very little risk financially, but at what the Lions have right now culturally, that's the last thing from what this culture is built on. They want a guy who just goes out there, work, doesn't complain. Chase Claypool, he doesn't perform, and he still complains. You can't be one of these guys that's like a 2-star wide receiver right now, 3-star wide receiver at best. And that's saying that because I don't know if you guys seen his blocking. Terrible. He's just lost out there. Like, he can't even block right now. Marvin Jones can at least block for you.
Yep.
So you can't be that big of a distraction with that little production. It's just as simple as that for me. But your guys' opinions, Kool-Aid, go to you first.
I mean, you're exactly right. This squad is so different. We've talked about it all season, from the ownership to the coaches, all the way down to the players. The locker room is just different. The vibes are different. What they are going for is just different. And I don't think that Chase fits any aspect of what this team's DNA is. I feel like there's some players who maybe they can be coached up. Maybe they can be helped by a locker room like this. But he's somebody who we've seen now in a couple different situations. I fear that he'd be somebody that could actually start to break apart this locker room just a little bit if they decided to bring him into this organization. No. I'm with you. No. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Especially when we're getting J-Mo back this week. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see, because they need a block. Everybody's like, oh, they need a big body that can block on that. You have that in Marvin Jones. Like, what does Chase Claypool bring to the Lions that they don't already have? And that's another thing to it. But, Nick, what do you think? And then we'll go to Chris with it.
Hard pass.
Hard pass for me. Definitely no. I don't even want to take a shot on this guy. I mean, he had 2 good years, his first 2 years in the league, and that's for a Steelers organization who did not want to keep this guy around. They absolutely fleeced the Bears for that 2nd-round pick last year, and I'm happy that the Bears did it. This guy's already off the team, not even a year later?
Not even a year.
And, I mean, it's just so great to see the Bears in this situation once again. I don't want to take a chance on Claypool. I think a good spot for him would be like the Texans or somewhere low key to try to rebuild like your credibility. The Lions are not that team to do it with.
I don't even think the Texans would want him. They got
Nico Collins balling out.
Nico Collins put up like 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like they don't need him. Like, no team right now outside of the Carolina Panthers, in my opinion, need a wide receiver. Besides maybe New
But, bro,
England,
healthy-
he ain't fitting in New England. No way.
Then what's in the water down with the Cowboys fans then? That they're like attacking you
Just
over
because-
your stance
just-
over a player that we know nobody really wants in the NFL.
It's
Like, it
just
don't make no
because
sense to me.
Jordan Lewis he's a Cowboy or a corner for them. He's a Cowboys cornerback, and he said I was disrespectful, which maybe I was, but I was speaking facts. Like I was just I'm sorry, I was. No one wants Chase Claypool. I'm sorry, Chris. Do you want Chase Claypool?
No, and as J. Cole said, all good jokes contain true shit, and that's where we're at with it.
Bars.
But also, like, you gotta think about it. Dude's not even worth the David Blau. I'm gonna just sign you so I can get access to the other team's playbook. Like, nobody cares about the Bears' playbook. Nobody's worried about getting that kind of intel. He literally has zero value. Like, zero value.
Zilch.
At least getting like a backup quarterback from Ben Johnson, like, oh, maybe you can kind of sneak a few plays and kind of get a little bit of that knowledge. It's like, what do you want from the Bears? You don't want what he brings on the field, and you don't want anything else. He doesn't have anything of value.
But
so,
he's 6'5", and you can get him for a bargain.
I'm
It's-
6'5".
it's
You can
just-
get me for a bargain. You can get me for a bargain. 6'5".
And I think you'd be able to
Why
block
not?
better than Chase Claypool right now.
I'll
At least
take
the-
it.
at
I'll
least
take
the
it.
way that he's
That's
looking
the
at it.
nicest thing you've
Yeah.
ever said. I'll take it.
It's just rough. Just the Bears right now. And that's the last thing that Justin Fields needs too.
Yeah.
And we can kind of talk about that game real quick just because we're talking about, and then we'll go straight Pistons, Lions. We'll stay Detroit after this.
Yeah, but that Chase stuff, man. I'm like, get those rumors as far away from Detroit as possible. It's not anything that is like becoming of Detroit. And you're right, with J-Mo coming back, and even with a guy like Marvin Jones on the squad, we can talk about the fact that he's not giving what we thought he would produce. But I feel like in the locker room, Marvin Jones is somebody that is very, very vital. He's played a lot of good football, and he's been a great teammate for a very long
And
time.
the thing is, he's been playing bad for what we expected out of Marvin. And I think Marvin would tell you the exact same thing. Like, I have no disrespect going to Marvin Jones when I say any of this. But he's been playing poorly, and you haven't heard a peep out of him. You haven't a peep out of the organization. Everything that's going wrong with the Bears right now, you hear everything. Those walls right now are paper thin. You can't. Their stadium got broken into. Their stadium walls, their facility are paper thin. Everything that could go wrong in Chicago is happening.